Amanda Nunes, the most dominant woman in combat sports history, added another line to her resume on Saturday, as she defended her featherweight title against Felicia Spencer.
The two-weight champion has now won 11 bouts in a row, and defeated some of the most accomplished women of all time in Ronda Rousey, Chris Cyborg Justino, Valentina Shevchenko, Miesha Tate and Holly Holm. This topic comes up a lot around dominant champions, but in Nunes' case, it's hard to dispute. She's running out of people to fight.
But she's not retiring either. So, who's it going to be? And what about the other big names of UFC 250? Here's ESPN's take.
Who should be next? Megan Anderson.
I guess. And to be clear, that's not a knock on Anderson at all. She's a legitimately talented featherweight, with legitimate wins on her record. But she's still pretty green to be taking a fight against the greatest female fighter of all time. I don't like her chances. And frankly, I think it could end up being bad for her career if she fights Nunes.
This is the kind of sport in which when you lose very badly, sometimes there's no coming back. And Anderson might lose very badly against Nunes. I feel the same way about bantamweight prospect Aspen Ladd, who fights later this month. She's supremely talented but not ready for Nunes.
But again, Nunes isn't retiring. And she's already at the 145-pound weight. Anderson has no one else to fight. She makes as much sense as anyone.
Dark horse, Valentina Shevchenko.
Dana White told me Saturday he's not into the idea of this fight, but it's certainly better than many others I can come up with. I thought Shevchenko actually beat Nunes the second time they fought, in 2017.
For the record, I would actually like to see this fight happen down the road. Let both of them continue to dominate and then give it a full spotlight in 2021. Make it for the title of pound-for-pound best female on the planet. I'm down to wait for this one, and I really don't think it will happen next, but given the lack of options for Nunes, I also wouldn't rule it out.
Who should be next? Marlon Morais.
Why mess around? Why do anything else? The only argument against this fight is, should we really throw Garbrandt straight into a fight against one of the most proven finishers in the division, just because he had one good performance on Saturday? And it's a fair point. Let's not forget, coming into this fight, Garbrandt had been knocked out in 3 in a row. But my answer to that question is, yes, they should.
I never really thought Garbrandt completely lost his mojo, even during that 3-fight skid. I just thought he needed to refine some things and find a true head coach. Yes, I was a little worried about the damage he'd taken in those losses, but that skid played out over nearly 3 years. The talent never went anywhere. The speed never went anywhere.
His confidence is back. Why treat Garbrandt with kid gloves? Morais is the fight.
Dark horse, winner of Joseph Benavidez vs. Davison Figueiredo flyweight title fight.
Garbrandt wants Petr Yan or Jose Aldo, and it's not hard to understand why. He wants the bantamweight title back. I can't see that happening in his next fight, though, not after the performance Aljamain Sterling had Saturday. So Garbrandt is not going to slide into a 135-pound title shot.
But how about a 125-pound title fight? Benavidez and Figueiredo are expected to fight on July 18. The winner will be the new champ, and there's not an obvious 125-pound contender to face the winner. Garbrandt has said he can make the weight and he'd immediately be the biggest name to ever fight at 125 pounds. If he can in fact make it, then why not?
Who should be next? Winner of Petr Yan vs. Jose Aldo.
UFC hasn't announced an official date for Yan vs. Aldo for the vacant bantamweight championship, but I'm expecting it to take place in early July. There are a lot of complaints about this title fight, and I can't argue any of them. Aldo is a legend, but he's coming off a loss and is 2-4 in his past 6 contests.
If the fight happens in early July, though, and Sterling gets his title shot in the next 135-pound championship bout, all's well that ends well. It's fun to see Sterling go into a title opportunity on such a high. He has looked as good as any 135-pounder in the division for a while.
Dark horse, Yan, or Aldo?
I would suggest Sterling stay ready. Traveling around the world in 2020 is not as easy as it was in 2019. Things fall through, plans are scrapped. I could very much envision a world in which Sterling's number gets called 1 month from now. And one hopes he'll be in shape and ready to answer the call if that opportunity comes.
Who should be next? Marlon Vera.
This fight was originally supposed to happen in July 2019, before O'Malley was flagged for an unfortunate doping violation, which the United States Anti-Doping Agency ultimately said was unintentional. Since then, O'Malley missed time because of a suspension and now has burst back onto the scene with back-to-back finishes over Jose Quiñones and Wineland.
Vera has won 2 of 3 inside the octagon, and the one he lost, a decision loss to Song Yadong, was a bit controversial. O'Malley vs Yadong would be a great fight as well, but stylistically, I like the Vera fight a little more. And Vera has an air of confidence to him that will rival what O'Malley brings to the table.
Dark horse, Song Yadong.
I actually suggested Yadong as an opponent for O'Malley after he beat Quiñones in March. Honestly, maybe this would make more sense than Vera, as Yadong is on a roll and hasn't lost since 2016. It's a great fight, but it's not as if it makes that much more sense than a fight against Vera.